What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Healthy Warrior Damon.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome back to episode 1. That's right. This is Wrestling on the Rocks, where every show is our first show. Every episode is episode 1, because we don't get to episode 2 until we get one episode right. And if you've been keeping track of our previous episodes, you know we have not gotten close to that. I am at Ref Marsh. We are WOTR the show. This is Wrestling on the Rocks, like I said. Over there, we got a producer lady. Over yonder, we have Miss Amanda Jane. You gonna say hi? Maybe say hello.
I said hi. Woohoo! Hi. Howdy.
And then over there, just yonder of yonder, we have a crybaby Klump. Klump, say what's up.
What's up? How y'all doing?
Oh yeah, he does. Hell yeah, that's how Klump does.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, how you guys doing?
You sounded like a long lost relative of Cameron Grimes. Kind of grumbly and salty and lives in the hills.
Call me Uncle Bear.
If you knew his family, you'd know you're awfully close. Leah Moonlight coming through.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Leah.
Always awesome.
Always good to see Leah Moonlight in the chat. Cheers. Cheers. Let's see. How you guys doing? It's been a week. You guys good? You guys feeling good?
Yeah. Sound like you said smelling good. I was like, no, I just
Oh,
got off of work and blew up a bathroom.
Hell yeah, you did. Hell yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
good
My
Lord.
man.
Well,
My man. The
That's what I do.
smelly Klump.
I give that
Sorry.
an enthusiastic.
Sorry. All right, guys. All right. Let's get to it. Not a whole lot going on this week, I don't think, but there's a lot to talk about. Let's start with something simple. What's in your glass? We'll start with Klump.
I got Topo Chico. It is sparkling water from Mexico. It is like Minerawa, but fancy. It's just, yeah, it's decent. I'm going to open it, probably explode, and I got coffee. And
Hell yeah.
the creamer is new because I had an experience of getting half and half that had turned into, we'll call it yogurt. It was not a good day.
Yuck.
All right.
Aren't
I thought you were going
worried
to say it was
about
just...
Montezuma?
I thought it was just going to be a hot sauce that you were drinking, and I was like, I grabbed the wrong bottle.
Aren't I worried about what?
Montezuma's revenge.
I always have diarrhea.
Okay.
That's a good point.
Okay.
It's not a revenge
that's
if it's
good.
just your state of
Good
being.
content, people. Good content.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Amanda, what's in your glass?
Well, you know, everyone's going to be disappointed because, unfortunately, for the near future, we will not be doing not sponsored Sonic. So today, I'm just having regular Coke. Why? Because yesterday I drank so many margaritas that I'm like, you know what?
I predicted correctly.
Yep. Called that one. Producer called that.
I had
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, so I sent Amanda on Twitter a gif of what was it, Elaine from Seinfeld with her leg. Her leg was up and she just said, "It's Cinco de Mayo" from a window.
Yeah.
That was Amanda yesterday.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And then I went on Twitter and I was like, oh, I'm really chatty right now. Can I either be here or talk to my boss? What do I want to do? Obviously not the second part. So
Awesome. Awesome.
what are you gonna do?
Yep.
What's going on, boss?
I
See,
like.
that's why I didn't have anything today or yesterday, so I could have margaritas today.
Ooh, that's a good call.
You could have them both days. And
Yeah.
don't change
Not
it
a-
from recovering.
Not if you're drinking like Amanda.
Well, yeah, but they were half off. That's why I got 4. So it's like having 2, you know?
That's true. If you're only
That's
paying for 2,
Asian
but you're
math,
getting
by the
4,
way.
that's. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
Or at least my
Makes sense.
Asian math.
I mean, take it from the recovering alcoholic. You go ham. Every night you'll be fine. It's okay. Don't worry.
All right.
What are you drinking?
I believe I'm having Brabant number 12 Irish whiskey. I'm a big fan of this one, man. I
Not
like
the
this.
best impression, but
Brabant number 12.
somewhere Becky Lynch is
You sound
just
Jamaican.
so embarrassed for you.
You're
Oi, oi.
you're almost like Grado because I can't understand what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
Like slow it down.
Slow down. All right. Well, I don't have a ton of news, to be honest. I know the producer. What are you going to say?
The month? WWE is celebrating the month that she mentioned? Her month?
My month. Oh yes, Asian Pacific Heritage Month.
Yeah, they started putting out video packages on that for. We saw it on SmackDown, I think. I don't remember if we saw it on Raw. You'll be happy to know Drew McIntyre is not included. It was kind of a shock.
I thought he was. I thought he was yellow like me. So that really sucks. Now you just ruined Christmas. Thanks, Marsh. Thanks.
I'm just saying.
Just cut across like this person, Drew McIntyre, this person, Fit Finlay.
Yeah.
Yo, they did that shit with Black History Month. They had all
yeah.
of the different
Yeah,
black
that's right.
artists, and then it just cut to Drew, and Drew's like, "Oh yes, it's a very important month." What? Yeah.
Not for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, it is an important month. So how about you step aside and let other people have a voice, maybe?
What, like Roman Reigns the whole time?
Well, Roman's on
Maybe
there now.
to me,
He's on
no.
he was on the video package for the new one. It was pretty cool. But yeah, WWE's celebrating that in a sense, or at least promoting it in a way, which I like. I think it's always good. I believe
Yeah,
that.
I'd say AEW would do that, but they don't have Asians or Pacific Islanders on their roster. So
Yeah, then you just have
It'll be
Brandy
fun.
coming out. Brandy or Cody coming out.
That's
no,
true.
no,
Cody
thank
would have
you.
a shirt that went to that charity or some shit.
Yeah, he'd have. Well, actually, no, I'm a liar. They have Japanese. They have Joshi. What? I forget about that.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
But for Black History Month, though, they did one shirt that the sales went to the NAACP, and it was the Cody Rhodes shirt. And I was like, okay.
I know that was so stupid.
That's great.
I did ask. I did ask a black person on the AEW roster, "Where's your shirt for Black History Month?"
Yeah.
Because Cody got one. And I go, you know what? That's a very sore subject. That's what I was told.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a shame.
Not shocked?
Yeah.
Not shocked?
All right, what do you got for news? What else?
So the other thing was something that you wanted to bring up, Amanda.
I don't know if you've seen anybody's out there familiar with Botchamania on YouTube.
Yeah.
Pretty much, title speaks for itself if you've never heard it or seen it. But apparently, Tony Khan's been giving them a bunch of cease and desist orders. And yeah, and actually, I think. Yeah, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, it's gotten to be so many now that I think there's actually
They're at the
the point where you're doing we're gonna get a lawsuit. But my thing is this: it's like, I'm sorry if if he feels like, oh, I don't want people using my stuff, but it's like, well, if you didn't botch a lot of things, then maybe they wouldn't show your stuff a lot. And then if Taz and Excalibur weren't really funny on commentary together, then yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, but
Yeah, and realistically,
down.
I don't even think it's an argument that Botchamania, for one, was thriving before AEW even existed, because there's plenty of botches throughout wrestling history from every promotion, not the least of which WWE. It's not like WWE's been not highlighted in this. They're showing a fucking lot on there. So it's one of those things where it's all like, look, dude, you're just part of the industry now, and this is part of it, is we all get to laugh at the flubs because we get to also celebrate in the successes. But that shit's funny when it happens.
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's funny when your pyro doesn't work, and they're taking cover for sparklers. I mean,
Yeah.
and he didn't even put that on there on Botchamania. Yeah, I mean, but
I'll watch your feet.
Well, I was gonna also add on too. From what I heard, Botchamania is at the point due to cease and desist activity that either they're at or they're within 5 occurrences that they'll have a permanent ban on YouTube. Not like a demonetization. They will not have a channel, which is fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
know
think it's less than 5 now.
AEW. There was an AEW botches account on Twitter that was getting shut down. I saw that they were also retweeting people that were also having troubles with their YouTube. Even just some review shows were getting pulled because of AEW. I don't remember which one it was, but one of them just was legit, like you said, just shut down. That's it. They can't have a show anymore.
Were they showing footage though?
They were showing little clips, yeah. But they also show clips of WWE stuff, but all the things were on AEW site. And I will say, in defense of AEW, which, you know, I don't know what the deal is, how any of this works, Aubrey came out and said this was an error, and they're trying to rectify that. But I haven't seen anything change. So just having your referee and games, what do you call it, project manager, make a statement saying we're trying to fix this isn't a lot to me.
Yeah.
I think that it's a show of good faith potentially to say, well, someone in the company thinks they're fixing it. But until you start seeing something happen, until Botchamania comes out and say, hey, those were all dropped, we're fine now, it was truly an error, then it's just someone spouting off to try and relieve the heat. So I don't know what's going on with them. We haven't been hit with that because we don't show that shit.
No. Mm-hmm. No.
But yeah, I do think it's crazy. They've been doing that for a bunch of one, just taking down everybody, which is also interesting because when they first started, that was one of the things they came out and said, that they were not going to go after people for copyright things for any of that. Like that.
Yeah.
And they went fucking ham on it.
I tell you, Tony Khan, sometimes it's like, I know he must have some form of ADD, but do you have really bad problems with your memory? Because
if he doesn't have ADD, he's still medicating for it.
He's medicating for something. I don't know. But watch, I'm going to get cease and desist.
Nah. He looks great. Everything's cool. Calm as can be. Cucumber Tony Khan.
Oh, don't start 9 days. Please don't.
9 days.
Okay.
What?
Oh, mute him. Can we mute him, producer lady?
They're like, how many days till his prescription runs out? 9 days. 9 days, my prescription runs out. 9 days, I'm done. My prescription's out.
I'll let that slide.
But
but people are calling Tony now Tony Carney, because he can spend money on all these expensive wrestlers, but you can't spend money on like props and fireworks.
So, I mean, I think there's also, application of using those tools and props, because he might actually have stuff that he maybe just doesn't have the right people doing it, or just, I don't know, there's a disconnect there.
I mean, to be fair, when it comes to props, WWE's got also, to knock both sides, got a great history of, I remember Vince McMahon's prize antique 7-year-old kind of piece of shit used Corvette. He collects these. Nobody collects C3 Corvettes. Nobody collects C3 Corvettes. They're terrible. But it's, God damn it, Tony, just do better. Quit being. This is why he gets made fun of. He's the Matt Brown of wrestling promoters.
I'm Tony Khan.
Yeah.
So I don't know why you guys are talking about props, because we were talking about copyrights. So I guess we'll move on from botches. And do you think that
Tony Khan and cease and desisting and
I did not. You pushed the derailment. You said, "Hey, let's talk props." No. Don't you put that evil on me?
I was coming from Klump's mention props.
But
look at the arcade, whatever they called that shit. That was really bad. How those games looked.
All right, so where are we going? Are we off news?
So with Tony Khan, or with AEW doing that, the last I heard, and it was like over a week ago, they were still pulling that stuff down and coming after people. I know that one account that was showing clips couldn't even retweet the clips that AEW was using because they were getting pulled from that too, saying it was theirs.
Yeah.
So it was really fucking aggravating to see that happen from there. So I don't know what kind of glitch Aubrey's trying to pretend happens. I mean, that's it. Your department has to go through and find those people and flag them, like something you guys are doing. So if you
That's
guys
way
decided to
above
put together a program that goes through and finds everything that's the same and cut it, that's the what do you think the program's going to do? You know what I mean? Like if there's a code you have that's combing Twitter and YouTube for your own content, it's going to find it no matter what context, for one. So why is it not catching literally everybody, but also catching the people who you think make you look bad? But yeah, it's
I don't think the Young Bucks have any problem with it. I mean, as long as BTE has been around, they've never did anything like that. It's got to be somebody who's slightly diva-ish who's doing it. But then it's like, well, then don't fuck up things to be put on, or have like really good spots that everyone's going to like retweet, or, if something looks really shitty, then don't work on trying to improve your television performance,
Yeah, I forget who I heard say it on one of the podcasts. It might have even been Bruce, but it was if you can only hit the move 9 times out of 10, we're not going to let you do the move. We need you to be able to hit the move 10 times out of 10. I think that comes from after Brock hurt his neck. But it was one of those things where it's all like he hits it almost all the time. Well, it's like, okay, but we're not going to count on the other one. If you're going to do it on TV in front of millions of people, then you better fucking do it right. So you better be a 10 out of a 10 type, like a Ricochet.
GR Lunar's in the chat and says, dude, Young Bucks are 100% divas, 1,000%.
Cheers to GR Lunar, calling out them divas with their fake ass sneaks. Them's got some fake ass sneaks. I do enjoy that every week. Someone's like posting more and more about the fucking fake sneakers that are on AEW. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about something that's like, substantial with AEW. Like, I don't know. People didn't go off on MJF when he used to use his fake Burberry. Yeah,
it's funny. So let's talk about this. The other thing you want to talk about real quick was Aztec Underground is joining over with MLW. What's all that? Break that down for us, Amanda.
Okay, well, I guess last night, MLW had, I don't know, they had a show or something they did, but they announced this thing, and then all of a sudden you see Dario Cueto. I don't know if they changed his name, but obviously they changed the name of the show, and it's now called Azteca Underground, which still in Boyle Heights. I'm like, okay, that's gonna be cool if they open up tapings like they did before. I never got to go to one, but I'd go just to see. But I wonder now, most of that roster is signed and moved on, or they're doing something else. So right now, the only 2 people that actually the 3 or 4 people I can think of that aren't doing anything is Matt Cross, Eva Lise, obviously since she was released, Chavo Guerrero, and let me think.
Chavo's doing a fair amount outside of wrestling, though.
Yeah, but he still was a figurehead, not like one of the main guys. Yeah, because Prince Puma is gone. That's Ricochet. Brian Cage is gone.
So there's
you'll
some
get Melissa
speculation.
Santos, I'm pretty sure, but yeah, it just doesn't. It's weird, and I know Thunder Rosa is not going to go back because she didn't like how they basically handled her character. And if you didn't know, she was Cobra Moon, so I kind of agree because her character was weird. It just wasn't, that wasn't. Yeah.
I can't think of a lot of people who would really have a great I would love so much the idea of it being done again, doing it right, but I don't know how many people you'll pull in with it, because if it has anyone attached to the old experience, I don't think they're super pumped to join back.
Sounds like NWA.
Yeah, a lot of people came back. So there also is a speculation MLW signed that that working relationship deal with WWE. Do you think it's possible that they feed someone like a Puma to Aztec Underground?
They could,
because he'll be masked.
Yeah, and they can also use Swerve with Skill Shot. He wasn't masked, but I mean, there's enough people, and I think there's enough people that they could probably do whatever. I would personally love to see him come from Tijuana, but I'd love to see El Generico. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I pray. I pray that happens.
Dope. Even if they just did a quick spot where he's like in the crowd or something, or up in the rafters,
be
and pulled like a
great.
Sting thing where he's just up there in the rafters, finger up, and they're all like, "Oh my God, it's El Generico," and he just like and just runs off. I'd be like, I love it.
That would be awesome. I mean, you know. And they lost their main announcer because isn't what's his face? Why am I blanking?
Well, didn't Vampiro get Me Too'd or some shit?
It was Vampiro, and it was
Matt Striker.
Matt Striker. Thank you. I'm like, I see his face. He's so nice. Yeah,
They're still paired for some reason, and they have weird chemistry at best.
Yeah.
Like whenever Vampiro and Matt Striker are together, it's like Vampiro makes JBL seem like the nicest, friendliest guy ever.
Yeah.
Like, because he just makes shit comments at everyone's expense, including Matt Striker's, and they don't land well, and you just see Matt Striker trying and doing decently. Yeah, I could go without them.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go without Vampiro. I'm cool with Striker. Striker's great. I like Striker.
Yeah, I like the Striker too.
Yeah.
Vampiro was just weird. I was like, half the time, I'm like, is this guy on something?
Yeah, I mean, he looks like it. I don't care. I want Vampiro heat. I can deal with that. I'm he's just, it's rough.
Yeah.
Like, and he didn't get Me Too'd. He just made that fun comment about someone sexually assaulted when that person was right next to them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Matt Striker's just like, okay.
Okay, well then. Yeah, we don't need that. No.
So I don't know what they're gonna do with it. I guess we'll see, but it is kind of interesting. I thought Lucha Underground was shot awesome. I loved the drama of that show. That was on screen, and then the drama that was off screen was, unsettling. So I don't know what it's gonna look like, but I think it'd be pretty sweet if they did that, and if they allowed some people to go do some stuff there, because it is going to be kind of in its own little world, little Vice TV stuff, and letting some of these guys who maybe aren't utilized as much who used to be there come and go would be really cool. So I'm all down for that. Let's see in the chat real quick. Fabtina's asking if anybody watched Mission Pro Wrestling. I know I didn't. Did you guys?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
Well, I should say I saw a clip of the La Greca and Thunder Rosa stuff, and I don't know. It's fine, I guess. I don't like La Greca enough to be excited about it. It just seems like one more thing that's going to serve his ego. So I was like, okay, I guess they're doing that now. But the other bit of news we have before we get into the shows, Dana Bryan. Dana Bryan reportedly has let his contract expire. Now, I don't understand contracts, but I feel like expire means bad. So they're saying after the Roman Reigns loss that he let his contract expire. Now everybody's flipping out, losing their mind. I don't know what Dana Bryan's going to do. We talked about it this past week because we heard that there's possibility he's trying to restructure his contract. And, I mean, I still stand in the camp of he could literally pop up absolutely anywhere and it would make sense to a degree, because he seems like a crazy person who wants to try and have every wrestling match that could ever be had with everyone who's ever existed. So I don't know that anything would surprise me if he popped up, but I do think anywhere he went would serve to hold on to him and listen to him.
Yeah. I see him at like New Japan automatically. First thing I think of. But also, isn't his wife coming back? Her sister?
That's what she said. I mean, a lapsed contract doesn't mean a failure to negotiate or a refusal to sign. It just means that by the time the contract had run out, negotiations had not completed. It could very well mean that they're still just trying to figure out how many dates he'll work, what his schedule would be like. They could still be trying to fine tune it, and it just happens to have lapsed. We've seen other people where the contract lapsed and 5 days later, 6 days later. It happened with Orton a year or two ago, right? 3 years ago? Maybe. Orton's contract expired, and everyone's like, he's going to AEW. And then it was all like, no, we were negotiating, and sometimes contracts lapse while the negotiations are happening. Yeah. And you go, oh, okay. Well,
look at what CM Punk back when he won the belt off of Cena. I mean, he wasn't around for weeks with that belt. And then all of a sudden, brand new, spanking new contract with all these bells and whistles. So, yeah.
Imagine in 20 years that Daniel Bryan has the new Jeff Jarrett story,
So good.
That's interesting.
only to be like such a letdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he'll talk about composting. So I guess that's kind of cool. I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like
We do like composting.
composting.
It's like making mud pies every night. What?
He makes fun of me all the time when I compost. He says
Oh.
I'm making mud pies.
No one knows
It's
you
like-
compost. You're the one who said that.
No,
I just made
dude.
a mud pie joke.
Yeah, it's like being an artificial cow. You just make cow pies.
Oh, cow pies. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I get you there.
I don't know if I. Yeah. No.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys want to say about
Yeah,
Daniel
let's
Bryan,
bring
his
it-
contract? What do you guys think? You said NJPW. He'd mentioned a place in. Remember, you guys talked about like CMLL or whatever in Mexico.
AAA?
He mentioned that by name as being a place he wanted to work.
Oh.
So
Interesting.
who knows?
Who knows?
I-
That'd be
I'm-
exciting.
I imagine it wouldn't be somewhere too far for too long, just because, he does have little babies, and I'm sure he doesn't want to be away from his family. So that's kind of one thing I think. Like, if he does show up in anywhere overseas, I just think it's going to be very brief.
Yeah. And I think it's very plausible. I think he's the type of person where he might just fucking do that. Do something real brief.
Yeah.
Hey, for the next 6 months, I'm going to go travel around, knock out a bunch of shit, and then come back. Maybe. Who knows, man?
Yeah.
I don't know. Klump, anything else you want to say about Daniel Bryan?
I'm curious to see how it goes. I don't know of a place that I really want to, other than Japan, want to see him go where I could see it be really awesome. I think it would be funny if in this grand experiment they take him through the forbidden door to other places and it just goes dog shit. You're like, okay, AEW, you fucked up the golden goose. Now
Yeah.
we're finally admitting it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true, too.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I don't know. No clue. I do want to throw this out here. If you guys are ready, we can start talking about some of the shows. Are you guys good?
I'm good. Yeah.
Yep. Just making sure there's no other news that you guys wanted to hit. I do want to say this before we get into the news. This is the final week that you can get 25% off on Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast.com/TWTs. That's right. I'm throwing it out there. Once a show, anywhere in the show, a 25% off code for Terrible Wrestling Takes. We like to partner with them as much as we can for watch-alongs. We're going to be doing a watch-along with them for WrestleMania Backlash. But if you go to Terrible Wrestling Takes podcast.com/TWTs and enter the promo code DE greater than AZ, you can get 25% off. That is D as in dog, E as in elephant, greater than as in different than less than, A as in alpha, and Z as in the last letter of the alphabet. And you can get 25% off. So, just throwing it out there. Klump, you got a chance to wear your Terrible Wrestling tee?
Got it on right now.
Are you wearing it right now? Oh, shit. Yeah, you are. Surprisingly comfortable, wasn't it? When I put it
It's
on,
good.
I was like, oh, shit. I said, oh, shit,
It's-
here
it's-
we
I'm
go.
like, the company that they have is fantastic. This is awesome. Like, one of my favorite shirts.
I put it on and it immediately felt like a shirt I've worn 100 times. I was like, this is amazing. So I don't know who he's getting the shirts from, but I'm probably going to start talking to him about that too. So we shall see. Guys, let's talk AEW. AEW. 9 days. 9 days. 9 days. Kenny. Dynamite 9 days.
All right.
Sorry.
Ay.
I didn't watch the show because I had a feeling it wasn't going to be something I wanted to watch. So I was involved in several group chats and discords and stuff, multiples. So if anyone thinks I'm talking about yours, maybe, but definitely was reading all of them just to get a feel for, am I going to have to go back and watch anything? The Cody Rhodes and QT thing did not seem to go over well with most of the fans, even the ones who are unapologetically for literally everything they do, as well as, I'm going to say, the blood and guts match in and of itself. So the tone I got as I was reading through what these different chants were saying was, oh, this is cool, this is good, it's building, everything was like in the show was going good, and then it got really shitty, and everyone said, this is awful, this has been bad, this promo's no good, and then they're like, okay, but here we go, main event time, and it was the same story there, where it was like, this is cool, okay, well, those two guys did good, and it's like, well, these guys are getting real sloppy, and it started to fall apart, it seemed. And then the focus seemed to shift. People got excited again, and then it ended in such a way that everyone said, well, God damn it. And so it did not come across as something that was going to be the roller coaster ride of emotions I was looking for. Still got ratings, still did over 1 million. I think it was 1.09 or something. But Klump, I don't know, did you get a chance to watch the show on whole or clips?
Clips.
I saw clips as well, and I feel like I saw enough to know. But Amanda, you watched this whole show. We're going to let you drive this segment. I just want to say what I saw based off of the online conversations and the Discords as far as the feeling of the show as it was going was very roller coaster of happiness and failure as far as the audience happiness. So go ahead, Amanda.
Well, honestly, like with the audience, I mean, you really don't see the people. It's all the, the extras and whatever, and, lower card people. So it's hard to say, really what that, the fans that actually were there, what their reactions were. But if it's anything like what I kind of saw online, it wasn't, I'll say this, it wasn't great. I wouldn't even say it was decent. They're falling into a pattern again where they'll do a really great show and then boom, whatever. Because someone had asked me, they said, Amanda, wasn't Brian Cage supposed to wrestle Kenny Omega at Blood and Guts? And I go, yeah, I believe so. Obviously that didn't happen, but that was that was a miss right there. So that person who asked me got turned off and just turned off the TV. It was like, oh, that's what I was waiting for. So I'm like, hey, whatever. I know next week should be more promising. You're going to have Miro face Darby for the TNT title. Okay. That should be good. They're finally using Miro in something. You've got Yuji Nagata is coming from Japan. I wonder if anyone else will be coming on this excursion out here. I know Okada and is it Yoshihashi? They won't be because they have COVID. So you're thinking one of those guys are going to come in? Jesus. No. And then I think the other match. Oh yes, SCU and the Young Bucks. So remember how SCU, everybody was like, when we lose, the next time we lose, we're done for good. So this will be a very interesting one to see. So hopefully we're not getting jokey Young Bucks like they have been, but whatever. Before I go even further into this rabbit hole of AEW, I will say once again, the internet wrestling is much better than what we're seeing on TNT. Why? I don't know. It just happens to be that way. And it's kind of shitty, I think, because people, I mean, if you're getting 1 million views and people are watching crap and maybe they're new to the product, you're not going to get them back because I wouldn't go back. But the internet stuff is where it's at. Like, there are quite a few matches. I know one of the women's matches they had was a gal named Willow Nightingale. Love her. And I really hope that they consider signing her because that would be a very good asset to the women's division. Yes, she's a bigger, chunkier girl, but you know what? Girl can move. She can wrestle. So I think that might be kind of a nice little addition. And she's hot right now in the indies. So that would be good.
Some of the bigger girls can do great things. I mean, Piper Niven, it's her birthday. Cheers to Piper Niven and happy birthday. She's been killing it over there in NXT UK,
Oh, yeah. I love Piper Niven. Yeah, she's great. But, and then one of the things that they really highlight the women over there. But one I cannot get behind was there's a match with Abaddon versus Ryu Mishu. Oh gosh, I'm Asian. I know, and it's Asian Pacific Heritage Month, and I can't even say her damn name. But I'm not Japanese, so. But you guys know who I'm talking about. She jobbed to Abaddon. Can we talk about this? Like, I mean, I've never been impressed with Abaddon. How do you guys feel?
I haven't liked anything she's done. I think she One of my problems with AEW in general and why I don't typically watch it is it oftentimes comes off like a parody of wrestling, like making fun of wrestling. Remember for a while there was those movies like Scary Movie and that So 90s movie and all that. Remember those? A lot of times AEW comes off to me as like, that's so wrestling, you know?
Yeah.
Where they just throw every trope they can and make it as cartoonish as possible and be all like, wrestling, right? Wink. And I'm all like, that's not why I watch wrestling. Not to make fun of it. Yeah, it's Wednesday Night Live. So, you know, that's so wrestling as their kind of like attitude is why I typically stopped watching it. But Abaddon is a huge proponent of that, or example of where every time she came on, I was like, okay, guys, what there's a gate to hell in the back and she just crawls out, has her match and, you know, follows the rules and leaves. Like, what the fuck? Like,
It's craft services.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling it, and it's overly contrived and phony in a way. And I'll give you the hypocrisy of the fact that I love Fiend. I do. I think Fiend
That's
works in a
different,
way
though.
that it's more of like a schizophrenic, multi-personality sort of insane clown, and I do think that there's a little bit difference there, especially when the commentators aren't saying, you know, this is an actual demon, right? And you're like, shut up, Excalibur. You know,
Yeah,
like... I
Well, and I
just
think
find
part of it,
characters like Abaddon to be insulting to my intelligence. I'm not about that. But Klump, go ahead. What do you think?
What I was gonna say is I think also what really fucks things over is the commentary is so smarmy. Like when Excalibur says that, it's not selling it to anyone, but it's just like, boy, is it killing it. It just lands like shit. It's, you know, when you don't understand something, when like even Corey Graves, who I'm not a huge fan of, acts shocked at the Fiend or surprised, that sells it. This like smarmy like, oh, you know it's that. It just lands like a couple of dicks fucking around.
That's a good point. With like even with Fiend type stuff or Alexa, most of the time they come back from something like that, they'll literally say, I don't know how to describe what we just saw.
Yeah.
Because they're also not going to tell you, well, clearly that's a demon from hell, right? I mean, they called Cain the devil's favorite demon, but I mean, as much as they talked about Undertaker being undead, did they ever really push the idea that he was actually dead or that Cain was actually a demon, or was the devil's favorite demon more of like a biker moniker? You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
think it was probably a biker moniker.
It's kind of how I always got the impression of it, which is why I think it worked. I think it's a huge reason why it worked and didn't come off as phony as it was. Because, I mean, realistically, Undertaker's kind of a zombie character if you take it at face value. But because they always talked about it in just a dark sense, we're talking about him as being a confusing person to understand and how they just don't get it. But here it is. I think that face value stuff goes a long way versus the absolute certainty that Excalibur goes on about how Chris Statlander is an actual alien and Abaddon is a real demon. That absolute certainty is what fucks it in my mind.
Yeah, and I mean, with Abaddon and Chris Statlander, the biggest difference is Chris Statlander can wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, with Abaddon, no offense, girlfriend, or if you're a fan of Abaddon, can you please tell me why? I'm curious. I'll go down that rabbit hole, but I didn't even know she was a demon. I thought she was like a zombie, you know, or whatever. So I don't know. Because all she does is she comes out, she walks on the ground, and she spits out blood, and she's like, oh, and she's actually really pretty, without all that shit on. So, I mean,
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, so I don't know, but if you do like her, please tell me why, because I'm very curious.
Yeah, tweet at Miss Amanda Jane with a Y on Twitter. Let her know
Twitter
why you
and
like.
Instagram.
And we'll be watching the conversation. We'll see it go to. Like I said, I mean, I didn't say anything I don't think negative about her or the performance or anything like that. Although, like I said, a lot of it hasn't clicked, but the Excalibur's presentation of it all is too much of a big old wink, and I'm not about that. So I just haven't liked it. So So Abaddon got a win on YouTube wrestling, and then what else happened before Dynamite?
The other things that you missed. They're using Moxley and a lot of the signees on Elevation, which I think is good because they're trying to really spotlight the up and comers. So that's a plus. Then I think that some of these matches are actually better than like Mox's match, that he had yesterday or whatnot. I mean, I don't know. It's really strange when I think about that. And then not only just that too, but that's where I don't think they're trying to get away from you have to watch everything to understand what's going on. But the problem is when you have certain people who, or factions or whatnot, that you're not putting really on Dynamite and showing, or kind of have their story in there. Of course, it's going to be confusing to people. And that's, but I just don't understand that. Like Dark Order, that's a huge one. I'm like, you know what? Oh yeah, by the way, Dark Order, happy birthday to Colt Cabana. You're old.
Happy birthday, Colt Cabana. Cheers to Colt Cabana. Kaboom.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, he's old now. Anyway. But like with Dark Order, like they're, if you don't watch, the Darks and Elevation, it's like you're not going to get some of the story. I mean, you don't have to watch BTE to know what's happening with Dark Order. It's just funny, if you want to waste time at your work day and watch that little section of Dark Order on there. But it doesn't do them justice. And again, same with the whole Team Taz and their maybe implosion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you don't see them on Dynamite. So where do they go? They have a minute-long match on Dark to open the show. Just saying. But yes, so I really, to be quite honest, I don't think there is anything that stood out, because Britt Baker's match didn't stand out to me. Kenny Omega and that obnoxious thing, and Michael Nakazawa, this is old. We need to stop Kenny Omega and Mox. It's run its course. And I also don't like how they're really making Eddie Kingston look like a puss.
Yeah.
I just am like, no, this is bad. So I know it was, okay, but is it worth watching?
As far as
no. Clips are better,
so,
probably.
The big thing everyone was talking about out of this one, then we'll just talk about it, is the big moment, the big push where MJF pushes Jericho off the top of the cage and he lands on top of some cardboard and a big mattress looking thing. And they had to sell it like he was just dying and crashed through metal, but you could tell there was cardboard there.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people are like, well, if you're only going to focus on one part, like, well, the whole match leads up to the one part is the thing. It's not like it was in the middle. The whole match led up to that one part, and that's what you decided to do the thing with. Mike, and then the other thing you see online, and it's been so weird, because everyone's all like, oh my God, that looked absolutely terrible. And then everyone's saying, I saw a ton of people go, so what, you wanted him to hit his concrete on the ground? Matt Hardy hurts himself, and you guys say they need to be more safe. Then they do this as safe as they can, and you guys need to say that it looks stupid. What do you want? Well, we want you to do things that look good, but we don't want you to kill people. It doesn't have to be actual damage to look good. And if you don't know what it takes to make it look good, then don't do that thing. Do a different thing that you know what looks good. Did Jericho have to fly through cardboard? Did you have to use, 9 different pieces of cardboard laid flat?
Yeah.
Couldn't you have used one big piece of something? Couldn't you have used something else that didn't split, like poster board? You know what I mean? Like, the thing isn't that people want him to fall on actual metal. Don't make fake metal. I mean, they've done it a bunch of times with those other stupid fucking pratfalls where it's a little piece of plywood that goes into a big pit that just happens to have a big crash pad that everyone sees anyways because they don't know how to shoot stuff. No one wants to see anybody hurt. But people do want to go, oh shit, when a big thing happens. They don't want to laugh.
It's supposed to be a fight.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a fight.
Yeah.
The stuff I was hearing about as it was happening was everyone's bleeding for no reason, that there's blood but no drama, that Wardlow and I think Hager were really botching up a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah,
That
they
a lot
were.
of
It was
people didn't
bad.
have chemistry, but I was hearing a bunch of that, but I did hear like, okay, well now that we're focused on just a couple people, which also means that other people just disappeared, that it started to pick up. But yeah, there's this huge pratfall thing that just looked terrible, and then the internet wrestling community is like picking sides in such a weird way. How can we not agree that big wrestling falls should look good? You know what I mean? People gave shit and were like zooming in when Shane did the fall and missed Kevin Owens when Sammy pulled him off, because as he hit it, you could see a bit of the crash pad poke out a little bit. And I thought, oh my God, that's a crazy fall. He still landed on metal. It blew up. And then thank God that crash pad was there. But it also wasn't obvious. People had to like zoom in and cut over. Like, see, you can see it right here. This was so obvious. They even posted it. AEW's own Twitter posted it and said like, oh my God, the carnage. And you're like, what are you
carnage?
showing that? Yeah.
Like what
Find a different angle.
fireworks? You know, like explosion.
Yes.
Barbed wire.
This big failure on the big matches and the final moments is becoming AEW's, oh my God, they killed Kenny. It's starting to be their running gag. Let's build up stuff, take it real serious, and then just say fuck all at the end, and whatever happens, and it's fine, and everybody will forgive us anyways. I don't know. No one's saying he needed to fall in metal. They're saying he didn't need to fall at all. You could have done something else. He didn't need to be the one to take the fall if he was concerned about taking a fall. They could have had a couple of chairs or a couple of tables out there. Something. You know what I mean? They could have had other things. And also, don't fucking run the company. Why do I have to come up with all your ideas? You guys are all professionals. If that's the best that Jericho and MJF and Tony Khan and everyone involved in that match could come up with, that's your problem. Not the fact that it looks stupid, but that no one had a better idea than a stupid-looking fall. You know what I mean?
He's worried about 9 days.
Yeah, he's worried what's going to happen in 9 days. I don't know. I went on for a little bit there. Before we hear from Amanda, because you watched it, Amanda, Klump, you saw the clips. What did you think when you saw them?
I mean, it felt needless. Like, I get... It fit the name. Like, yeah, we went above and beyond where we had to just kind of bust people up in a hard way or have these weird kind of dangerous spots, but then spots that didn't make sense to let have. It just was a lot of things. I didn't.
P.S. I don't think any of them were hard way.
Yeah,
I heard everyone had blades, and I heard people saying, "Oh, I can see Jericho holding a razor blade right now. He's going to cut himself soon." And I was like, "Jesus!" That was in one of the chats.
I mean, and honestly, like, if you wanted to do something kind of cool, just fucking do that.
Yeah.
Like, just actually pull out a razor blade, because getting the fork out was just so weird. Like, okay. I wasn't a fan, from what I saw. The outside of the actual Blood and Guts match, the Darby spot was fucking stupid looking, and like, stairs? Yeah, if it was intentional, it looked like he fucked it up and didn't land it well, and if it just looked bad. Like, I have no defense of it, so it was just weird.
Yeah, I just think it comes down to don't do shit you don't know how to do. It's that if you can't do the move 10 times out of 10, don't do the move. If you guys are saying, hey, we're new to this and we're trying to figure it out, cool. Don't show me what you got until you figure it out. Yeah. Just don't play your hand. You know what I mean? That's it. Do something else. Do what you know. Only do what you know on TV, and do all the shit you don't know off TV until you know it so well that I can't see the trick. Amanda, what do you think of all this?
Well, honestly, with Darby, I'll start with Darby right now. My thought of it was, dude, this is why I sometimes I'm like, you're going to die. He's going to die doing some of this stupid shit in the ring. Does it always land? No. It's like, dude, you need to cut that out. So career longevity, that's just my opinion there, but it didn't it didn't look great. It was not a memorable match. So, whatever. But I tell you, that match was, oh God, it was awful. I couldn't watch it. It was that bad. I was laughing more than anything. And then I started to cry because this is so horribly pathetic. And I had a lot of emotion with this one. And it really, for me, was, and this was pre-tequila. I had margaritas yesterday, but this is pre-margaritas. So, I was just like, wow, I can see you blading yourself. This is awful. I don't know if it's a combination of the cameramen or you guys are lazy. I don't know. One that we did not point out. Okay, Santana and Ortiz. I don't know what the hell happened to them. I feel like they weren't even there. They weren't that noticeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I knew FTR made a presence, and then Sammy Guevara. Okay, I don't know. A lot of people were saying that he did these spots that were so amazing. No, he almost like freaking passed out and knocked, he had a big gash with something he did in the corner, some flippy dippy shit. And I'm like, no. Yeah.
All right. Cheers to Lord Robert Knight, 91, you said? Giving us a follow. Cheers. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, but I don't know. It looked bad, and then the guy wonders. Everyone wonders. Oh my God, like how is he still like around? Like that was Concussion City with him, and I just was like, oh God, this is just a shit show. So already, I was just taken out of it by the sloppiness of the production value, and then, why was this necessary? This was not one of their, better special shows. So yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah. So right now we're, a couple weeks into before Double or Nothing. So I think next week will be interesting. I do think it is going to be a good show. Just hopefully there's no props that they need to put out or anyone blading
Do you
themselves,
Do you think they've cooled down Moxley enough where he could take a loss to Yuji Nagata for that title to get that back to Japan?
I have this feeling he's gonna keep it, but I wish that he would lose it. But I don't think that if there was anybody from New Japan, I wouldn't have sent over Yuji Nagata. But that's just my opinion. It would have been nice maybe if it was, I don't know, someone like Bushi or someone like that, or I think Bushi, or actually the one I really thought it would be great and it would be a great match, but tonight he's on Impact, is El Phantasmo.
Yeah.
That guy's got charisma.
Maybe,
And
if El Phantasmo was in the country for long enough, maybe he could, but I don't know. I'm just saying in general, I feel like Moxley's cooled down quite a bit, and his rivalry with the Elite's getting kind of weird. And
yeah, but Tony Khan loves to book him, I mean, I don't think
what I'm trying to say,
really cooled down at all.
Amanda, is that with the Elite and Moxley's booking being kind of as weird and wonky as it is right now, that Moxley's not nearly as hot as he was before, and the angle with Kenny just seems to be going kind of nowhere. But the Elite could cost Moxley the match, because we also know AEW refuses to disqualify people no matter how much interference occurs. So he would be, quote, protected and still lose it clean because they won't disqualify anybody at any point. Do you think that Moxley's at a point that he's cool enough where they would consider doing that?
No.
No.
I think the ship on him has sailed that much. I think they need to rebuild him. I think he's at the point where him holding a belt is, why do you have the belt? It doesn't build the belt up. It's, if anything, diminishing it, because we're not seeing him in this role. We need to know more of why he's important, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So having him hold the belt, he might look that way if he's defending it.
Yeah.
I got you.
'Cause
Go ahead, Amanda.
I was gonna say the U.S. audience doesn't know Death Rider, which was it's his character, you know, in New Japan, and that to me is a big miss. So you get this weird Moxley right now, and then you know New Japan people know him as Death Rider, and which has a whole different persona, that's not like horrible. So that's where I'm like, yeah, I don't know, but it's probably they're not going to pull it. I don't think they'll pull it on him here. I think he'll go back to Japan to get rid of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Lord Robert Knight in the chat, he's asking you guys, because you probably would know better than me, says, I think they're going to build up to Omega, Bucks, and Good Brothers against Mox, Kingston, Finn Juice, and Edwards, in his opinion. Eddie Edwards?
Yeah.
So, do you guys think
Edwards?
they're going to do that? Do a Super Impact versus AEW? But my only issue with it is that I would like to see a definitive AEW versus Impact thing going on. And that is a total mix of, well, half of us are there and half of us are here, which could be interesting in and of itself. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sucker for invasion angles. But do you guys think they
Yeah.
could be going that way? Amanda, what do you think?
How would you? Well, I can see how you would involve Finn Juice, but I don't get the Eddie Edwards part, unless I'm missing something. But then again, I really don't watch Impact. But to further what you were saying, Marsh, about those like that invasion thing, man, I would love to see Sammy Callahan and Mox go at it. They used to before, and that's one that I was hoping we could see. But another one too, even Eddie Kingston. So, I don't know, but I think that when Private Party went over there, that was kind of I don't think they should have gone over there. That's probably not one that I would have had to represent, AEW's tag teams.
Well,
but I get
so,
why.
Lord Robert's saying that tonight on Impact, Eddie Edwards actually got figured in, that Omega and the Good Brothers beat up Gin Juice and Eddie tonight. So maybe that's actually exactly where they're going.
Oh, that's
like-
probably that sounds cool.
Is that 5 or
Then.
6 people on each side? What was the number on there? 1, 3, 4, 5. 5 on 5.
5 on 5. Mm-hmm.
Would you do a kind of? I mean, they just did their 5 on 5. I feel like that if you're gonna do this, you would have done that in Blood and Guts.
Yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
So why? What would you just do a 5 on 5 tag? I mean, you feel like you'd have to do something special for something like that, having definitive Impact and AEW wrestlers fighting together and against each other. Like you'd want to do something bigger than just a 5 on 5 on Dynamite. You know what I mean? Like,
Or Tony Khan booking is it's going to be on Double or Nothing,
sure,
because
just
what
a
do you
tag though.
have? Yeah, like what do you have other than that?
Yeah,
You
he
know?
thinks Lord Robert thinks it could be a year build, but
That Tony Khan doesn't
I
work
don't
like
know.
that. Come on.
I don't feel like any of their builds have been that well thought out, to be honest. The amount of hot shot and stuff. I mean, look at Pinnacle and Inner Circle. This is the first match they ever had together, and it was literally a War
Horrible.
Games match, which was what you usually led to after a year. They're starting with it. I have no interest in watching them fight again because I already know that when all the chips are down, Pinnacle is just flat out better than Inner Circle. Except I already know that Inner Circle, when they blindside Pinnacle, can beat the shit out of them and put MJF's face in a toilet. So I'm kind of like, well, I guess tit for tat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like there's a lot of heat there realistically. Like, they both kind of got their once over. But I don't know if you build for a year on something like that. I don't know if Tony could. But
he drops the ball.
I feel like,
I mean,
I feel like as much as he talks about long-term booking, it's not really there. A lot of stuff's hot-shotted. He thinks they're building something big for the Forbidden Door. I hope so, but again, like, they've built nothing towards it so far, realistically. You've got the Good Brothers cutting promos on both shows sometimes. Kenny Omega cuts the same promo on both shows most times. And you had Kenta show up one time and leave. Like, we're not getting any of these dream matches. This thing's like, it's really weird and specific. So, I don't know. I hope so. I hope they're building something big. I don't know if that's big enough. A 5-on-5 tag, because what kind of stakes can you put there?
Put all the hardware out.
No. Whatever team leaves with all of it, and they split it up however they want.
All of it. Mm-hmm.
Here you go. Here, you get these tag titles. I'll get these ones.
If
I'm
you
gonna
got
take
three,
that
what is
title.
3 belts right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't,
You
know.
could do that. A big mass
I mean,
mishmash.
that's the only thing I can think of. But when you look at Tony's bookings, like what had happened with, the whole best friends in Orange Cassidy. Okay, yeah, Chris Statlander joined him, but that whole little thing with Miro and Penelope Ford and Kip Sabian, it went on for a little bit, and now it's dead in the water because Miro's going on his own. So I don't, and then also, everything with like, if someone can argue and say that Team Taz, and this is not the Ricky Starks hour, by the way. Team Taz has had this thing go along for a while, but they never get back to it. It's still kind of there, but again, you have to watch internet wrestling. But yeah, I don't see, these guys don't really do long term. They like just to get that instant pop and that instant gratification and move on.
Yeah.
Because they think that their viewers have like ADD and that's all they can handle. So.
All right. Well, was there anything else on Dynamite that you want to talk about, Amanda?
No, it was bad. But next week is more promising though. And I think we're also getting Kenny's wrestling. Who is he wrestling? I can't remember who they announced.
Isn't it Orange Cassidy?
Yeah. We all know that's not good. Oranges don't get the belt, but that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of Kenny's DDT work, you might like this one. So I'm interested to see. But they have other good matches. So
they did say they're going to try and open up full capacity for Double or Nothing in a couple of weeks, which I think is 5,500 people for Daly's Place. They're not going to go to a different spot. They're going to use their own spot and open up full capacity. I don't know if there's any stipulations to that, if he's asking for vaccine cards or anything. I don't think there's any of that. I think they're just all like, well, what's good is good.
it's Florida. They don't care.
Yeah, Florida doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, Florida doesn't care. I bet Delaware doesn't care either.
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
I don't even think Delaware's... Well, never mind. I'll leave it. I was going to say a thing, but...
The least that you have to worry about in Delaware is a fucking vaccine.
No.
Mm.
Delaware
They're probably
is the
spreaders.
vaccine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Lord Robert does say, wow, I can't believe you said next week will be better than this week. So I think Robert really, really enjoyed the show this week. Amanda overall did not. She thought it was pretty bland overall with a lot of misses, and hopes that next week's is going to pull the nose up a little bit in that regard, not in the viewership regard, because clearly they were up, and I mean, good on them. I always like when they're being successful on stuff, but yeah, I don't think this was their best outing that they've had.
Not the worst.
They're
We've
definitely
seen
putting in a
worse.
lot of effort. You can see it, but I think where they lack.
Yeah. But I will say that I think that with AEW again, it's been wonky. But I really think that when they do these special shows, they don't do them very well. That's just the sense I get, because what was the last one that they did?
Yeah, that's true. I do think maybe there's a little bit of like a performance anxiety for the big stuff. It's big, guys. It's big, and I think that maybe things get overlooked that shouldn't. Maybe so
But
that could be.
Revolution wasn't
He's
bad.
Revolution was trash. Revolution had 2 good matches on the whole thing. The first 2 hours of it was throwaway easily.
I know.
could've
Yeah,
slipped
I
all of
guess
it.
I'm only just thinking about like the cinematic match, but
Yeah, once you got to the ladder match was okay. And then you had the cinematic match, which was cool, and then the barbed wire match, which was cool, and then it had that fart ending. So I mean, like Revolution was like easily I could have
But really,
avoided it.
the diamond in the rough was the cinematic match. And no, it's not because of, well, maybe it is.
I mean, it's
partially
mostly because of
of-
Ricky Starks. So Lord Rev does say he's really excited for Young Bucks versus SCU. Have we seen SCU versus Young Bucks yet? I feel like we did. Have
We
not?
did earlier, like maybe 6 months ago, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
and,
I think they work well together, right?
Yeah, but that was when originally when they lost to the Bucks that time. That's when they were like, you know what? Next time we lose, doesn't matter who it's against. That's it. So that's where this is going to be an interesting one.
Is that
'Cause
going to
they
be like the
don't-
poetry of it all? The SCU started with the Young Bucks and saying, "Hey, we're not. If we lose again, we're done," and they're going to be finished by the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
That's
I
neat.
think that's probably that thing. I mean, you're all from Southern California. I mean, they've, pretty much wrestled with them for many, many years. So it'll be very interesting. So that's why I'm saying next week is going to be a lot better than Blood and Guts. There's a lot of really cool matches that are going to happen. And I don't think because there's not the pressure of being, a marquee Wednesday that they'll probably, do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that's probably true too. So this might be a good one for Klump. I think you like both SCU and Young Bucks typically, don't you, Klump?
I don't like fucking AEW's Young Bucks.
Yeah, but
I
they've
like
had a
Young
few.
Bucks.
Hey,
But they have a few matches here and there.
That's not
Here-
a great selling point. A lot of people
Yeah.
try and do great at things. I tried a lot of things.
Yeah.
I try to run. It does not go well. I'm not like a fan of that, nor the people watching
point.
my big ass running around.
Yeah. Lord Robert says he's calling the SCU wins now, but doesn't Young Bucks have a tag match already booked for Moxley and Kingston?
Oh, God damn it. Yeah.
I thought they'd already booked that for like something coming up. If that's
Double or
not true,
Nothing?
then I'm off.
Maybe
And he
Double or
says then
Nothing.
the Death Rider will be defending the U.S. title. Is going to be quick. Kenny and the Bucks are going to interfere afterwards. I mean, people interfere after all this. Just in Time coming through the chat. Cheers, Just in Time. The curator of our side of the IWC coming through to say everything in AEW is just looking too predictable. It's kind of the best part about not watching is you still know what's going to happen.
No.
Let's
But,
see. Maybe
yeah,
people.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't
but yeah,
mind.
I mean, SCU and Young Bucks have worked together well in the past, so it could be a really good match. We'll see. I think I'm most excited for Moxley and the U.S. title because I wonder if they'll let him be the Death Rider in the way that he presents himself there. Because anyone who watches NJPW and AEW can't deny that those are two distinctly different characters, and the NJPW version is much better.
Yeah. See, if I got NJPW Death Rider Mox at AEW, I probably would enjoy that a hell of a lot better
Yeah,
than the AEW presentation of Mox.
could be. God damn it. There was a fucking.
And you guys can at me. If it's a terrible take, you can at me. But that's,
Looking it up. SCU, yeah, no, SCU won. Yeah, SCU defeated Jurassic Express, Varsity Blondes, and the Acclaimed, and Eddie and Moxley defeated Kenny and Nakazawa. Maybe I just think that that's where they're going with it, and it's already booked in my mind. That could very well be. I could see
Maybe.
Moxley and Eddie winning that tag match, and then I go, oh, I know what Tony's going to do with this. So it could just be in my mind. I've pre-booked it. It's possible. I pre-book shit all the time. That's why I drink.
You know
Cheers.
what would
What are
be
you
good
drinking?
too?
What are you
is
drinking, Lord
Mox and-
Robert? I like you.
Yeah, we
I'm
do
buying
like
you
you.
a drink, Lord Robert.
No, I would love to see Finn Juice versus Eddie and Mox. That would be kind of killer, I think.
That could be cool. That could be cool.
I-
Well,
I'm all
we'll
for that.
see. Let's move on to NXT. Let's see what's going on over there.
NXT.
NXT. He's having Johnny Walker. What color, though? I'm not going to tell him which color is the right answer.
Purple, red. Yeah. I don't know what
Purple?
other colors they have. Don't they have a
Jesus.
purple label?
You got fucking money if you got anything close to purple. You're talking about like the blue, gold, or green? He's got Johnny Black. All right.
Ah,
Yo,
okay.
dude,
Well,
I used to get limited double black every year for New Year's. Just my thing.
so there's not
Go
a
ahead.
purple?
I don't believe there's a purple Johnny. If there is, it's going to be one of those like 180-year things that's special, legendary stuff. I've had the blue, the gold, and the green, but only a little
You sound
bit
like
of
Karma
each.
Chameleon.
Yeah, It was great because those are all ones where it's like you start getting above, you get up there in age for those ones. And I had a friend who had all the bottles. I don't know how he got them. I have suspicions on how they were acquired, but I was able to try them.
Murder was involved.
Yeah. He's got the Game of Thrones one too. We used to drink that one here on the show. I think we had it on episode 1 if I remember correctly. We had both of them. They had the fire and the ice. We had both. We love Johnny Walker in this house. Let's see. Speaking of Johnny Walker,
Hit it.
Falls Count Anywhere. What's up, Klump?
He won't.
Let's see.
Oh my god. Let's see.
Double
So we
black.
did have the show open up with Leon Ruff versus Isaiah Swerve Scott in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Was there a little promo before it or no? Because I don't believe there was. I thought we got right into it.
I think there was, yeah.
Think there was? I don't remember one.
Yeah. It's just typical.
No. So let's see. I like this match. I'm a little bit tired of it because I don't know where we go. I mean, I love the Leon Ruff story, but where do we really think that character's going? Do we really think he's the next Daniel Bryan? Do we think he's going to end up going up against Karrion Kross? He's a fun character doing what he's doing, helping put people over. But at this point, Isaiah Swerve Scott has had such a hard time with Leon for so long. It makes Leon look good, and it doesn't make Isaiah Swerve Scott look great, in my mind, overall, this long. But Swerve did get the win, but it took a hell of a lot to get it, and I was a little bit like, I don't know if a win over Leon Ruff means as much as this match tried to make it seem. Does that make sense?
He was a champ.
He was a champ, and that was the joke. They made it a joke. Why are you mad at me about it? Amanda, what'd you think of this? I loved the match overall in a bubble, but when I think about it in a larger story scheme, that's where I'm at.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of confused why we're getting Leon Ruff and Swerve all the time now.
Yeah.
Because it's not helping Swerve, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's good for what it is, but again, like, it's kind of run its course. Like, I would love to see Swerve and some of those guys that were in the final of the that they had at Takeover, Stand and Deliver. Those guys, the final, the final 6 guys. Like LA Knight, Bronson Reed, all those guys. I would love to see those guys go at it because there was such good chemistry, I thought, between everybody. So I'm just kind of baffled about that. But
yeah.
Oh, and FYI,
Yeah.
the Johnny Walker, sorry to interrupt. There is kind of a purplish label. It's the wine cask blend. I knew there was something like purple, or maybe it's pink. I don't know, but it's purple to me.
All right.
No.
Wine
Yes,
cask,
I knew there was one that was purple.
So Swerve ended up winning because AJ Francis came in to help. So it also didn't look like Swerve could have won on his own, which I don't think looks great, honestly. So AJ Francis came in. We didn't know who he was, but they acted like they knew exactly who he was. And then they said, oh, it's from his entourage. And I was like, what fucking entourage? Like, he's been cutting great promos. He's been doing awesome video package promos with, I think, awesome emoting. I love him in his studio. Like, that's just who he is. That's what he does. Look, I make music and then I fight people. Like, okay, I'm down for all of that. But I never saw anybody else's face in any of those. We saw people moving in the background sometimes, but that is it. So for Vic Joseph to be like, that's AJ Francis from his entourage. I was like, what? Are you hanging out with Swerve, dude? Like,
Yeah. That, and
that was
when you
weird to me.
saw his entourage, I'm like, why is Jade Cargill there? Oh, wait, that's not Jade Cargill.
yeah, at the end, it showed him with his entourage, and it was suddenly an actual entourage. And you're like, well, it's the first we've seen them all. And you have someone who looks an awful lot like Jade Cargill, which is a little bit interesting. But, and Lord Robert asks a good question. Are they going to wrestle too? I got to imagine they're all here to wrestle. That's what the whole entourage is. But does that mean we're going to get some sort of War Games, Leon Ruff stable against an Isaiah Swerve entourage? Like, what the fuck is that going to look like? Justin says Swerve being heel has just been a mixed bag. There's been a lot of confusion around it to me.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's doing a good job portraying the character realistically. And I think he's doing a really good job in nuanced facial expressions and such. But there's a lot of, like, what the fuck is happening going around it all the time. Does that make sense?
I agree with that. Like, it feels... It just doesn't all add up right. Like, where it's not what it could be. I don't know how to fix it, but I feel like there's more that could be done.
Yeah, I feel out of the loop. And usually, I'm not saying I need to know everything that's happening. I'm not one of those smart fans who watches things and then go, they shouldn't use that person. He doesn't know that move as well as the other people. I'm like, what? No, I'm watching what I'm watching. I've even seen people lately on the AEW, A&E. AWE.
AEW.
What's the root beer?
Beer.
I want root beer right now. The A&W biographies. Their shitty hamburgers are one of the betters of the shitties. They're on the upper echelon of shitty hamburgers.
Wait, they're not shitty. I actually enjoy them. The Papa Burgers.
That's my point. It's exactly my point. They're enjoyable.
Regretting being on this podcast.
Oh.
Didn't you just eat 4-hour-year-old fries?
No, I had day-old fries, but they were in the fridge.
Oh, they were in the fridge, right?
Even then.
Is it?
No.
I'm not going.
Especially
They
then.
had like carne asada and stuff on them. It worked out.
Yeah, let's see. So
Real carne
Actually, yeah,
asada? Or like,
yes.
were they from
no, he
Del
doesn't get the
Taco?
bullshit.
Okay.
No, Klump's not about that bullshit. He's about the real
Ma'am.
carne.
This is Tucson.
That's true. Yeah. You're in Tucson.
Klump's like, with all due respect, ma'am.
All due respect.
if I was visiting family in Maine, you could make that comment. And you know what? That's fair.
Yeah. I was desperate. So yeah, I think that there's a lot going on here. Oh, about the biographies. I saw a lot of people talk about the biographies even, and talking shit, saying they shouldn't have got this person. They don't know very much about that person's life. How the fuck do you know about any of their lives? Like, what? It was so weird. I was just seeing a lot of people being like, I don't like that they got this person to talk on it. Why? Who the fuck are you to determine if they know something or not?
Yeah,
What the fuck is
I wanna
that? It
know
was
who
just
they're-
weird.
Who they want to talk about, who they're qualified to talk about.
Yeah, I'm not even saying that they're wrong in the concept. I'm not even saying that person is the best person to talk about it. But I think it's a really weird stance to go online and be all like, I know who should be in the Roddy Piper documentary. Why? Did you know him great? You know all his fucking friends? What the fuck? It's weird. So, I don't know.
Roddy
Anyways.
Piper, as discussed by Bob Costas.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I love Swerve's character. I'm so confused by this whole story, and I'm thinking it's starting to drag Swerve down some at this point. If he can't beat Leon Ruff, when the entire point of Leon Ruff's story has been that it's crazy how he gets wins, and now you have a hyper-focused and, as Vic said, a most aggressive version of Swerve who can't beat Ruff. Are we going... I mean, we're in this whole world where... I mean, I guess it's one of my problems is you have a world where Johnny Gargano is unbeatable and considered the best of all time, and I just don't ever see it in his matches. And so now you're building like a second Gargano with Leon Ruff, and it's like, well, what is happening down here? Like, this is weird because, I mean, quite honestly, you got guys like Bronson Reed and LA Knight and Karrion Kross and Balor and O'Reilly, people who are believable badasses who look like they could beat the shit out of anybody. And you're pushing Leon Ruff like he's a fucking unbeatable force, but Bronson Reed's eating pins left and right. And I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Why did Swerve had no problem against Bronson Reed, but he's fucking having a tough time on Leon Ruff? You can only tell me that underestimation goes so far. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just where I feel with it. I love Swerve's character right now, though, and I want to see where it goes. We can move on from it, though. Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes! Cameron Grimes! To the moon!
I'm never going to not love Cameron Grimes. I'm just
think
going to
that's
say
true.
that. It's probably one of my favorite characters in WWE history.
Well,
Yeah.
by far.
Yeah.
There
it's
was,
beautiful.
right before Cameron Grimes comes out, though, there was a Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro promo, which I actually thought they both did a really good job at, and they were talking mad shit on Xia Li and Tian Sha, and I was like, I don't think you guys should be talking about them at all. I think you should be acting like Paul Heyman and say, I'd rather not speak about them, please. I don't want to make them mad. But they're out there talking and running their mouth, and I got a feeling something's going to happen. But what I really like, they did bring out Frankie Monet again. And Frankie Monet does her whole kind of like ditzy but cocky, and you're not sure if she's being ditzy to put you off your own guard or if she's really just kind of aloof. You know what I mean? Like phony, friendly, but I don't know. You can't quite put the finger on it. She's coming off a little Regina George to me. But what I love about it, they're giving her this tour of every single person in the roster on the mic. When they're talking about things they've been involved in recently, Frankie shows up and just kind of introduces herself, makes them look a little foolish, talks a little bit of shit, but in a really nice way with a wink, and then leaves. And what I think it's done well so far, and what I think that, like, when you scope out a little bit is really impressive, they have slowly built a reason for literally everyone on the roster to not like her. And to have beef with her. And to have a match against her. She's one of the most anticipated matches I have personally at this point, where it's all like, I want to see her wrestle so bad. And right now, I want to see who's going to be the first one to beat the shit out of her, because no one there likes her, is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I got out of it. What do you... Oh my God. Sucker is... They fucking, on my channel, they're fucking bleeping stuff. They bleeped the word sucker. They bleeped Crybaby for Klump. That's how he got his name. What is with Twitch, man? Who runs this shit? Anyways.
Uh-oh. I'm probably being
settings
censored
must have
left and
changed.
right then.
They think I'm 6. It's fair.
You're
If
not.
they've heard me. No. Well. So, Amanda, what do you think about the way that they're introducing Frankie, and my theory there that they're slowly building animosity between her and the entire roster?
You know, I like that theory that you have, because I didn't really think of it that way. But what I have been loving is the fact that she's basically, like you said, doing a tour of the roster. And, I think it's great. But it is a good question of who the hell's going to beat the shit out of her, or who is she going to beat the shit out of, or whatnot. So that's where it's kind of a really cool build that way. So, I'm curious. And then I'm also curious of when is she going to make her actual debut? Is it going to come up, or are they going to ride this a little for another couple weeks?
Who do you want her to start with? I can't put my finger on it.
I think I probably want her. I think one of the first people should be Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's been getting a lot of those more profile type of matches, and I think again that would be a good way to, in a different style for Zoe Stark. I think that would be great. But if not, I don't know. To be honest, that's a hard one.
But I do like they've been building this Tony and Zoe story. I do like that that's been happening.
Yeah.
And I really like the way they did it here too, or a little bit we'll get to it when we get to it, but they built it up a little bit more there. So, but I do like what they're doing with Frankie. I do want to see what they do with that. That does bring us, I believe, to Cameron Grimes having himself a match against Asher Hale, which I believe was his first time on the show.
I was going to say I don't recognize him.
Yeah. What's that, producer?
I just want to say I really just generally like how they've been using unknown talent, if you will, or just talent we haven't seen. I just think whenever I've watched AEW, I always just remember thinking, why is this the same people I've seen over and over and over? I want to see people who I've haven't seen before, that are up and coming, or even use them as jobbers. I'm cool with that. So I'm just really excited to see new talent in general.
Especially when you hear about someone getting signed, it's cool to see them sooner than later. Because sometimes they'll sign somebody, you don't see them for years, and you go, man, I wonder what's going on with them. But someone like Taya being signed, Zoe being signed, and showing up right away, really cool. The girl who's been coming on lately too. She had a match against Sarade this night. She was signed recently
Yeah.
as well, but we'll get her name right in a few. But
We'll get there.
we did get Cameron Grimes against Asher Hale. I believe he's a relatively new sign too. Or even what's this guy? What's Rusty Nail? Rusty Nail? What's the guy's name? Rusty Gray Rusty
The
with
Higher Nails
Malcolm
back?
Bivens.
Don't tell
Something
Vince.
rest, the one that was with Thatcher.
Yeah. And
Oh,
yeah,
God.
they were using him just fine. So yeah, I
Mhm.
don't know. We'll see. So Cameron Grimes does get the win. In kind of it wasn't a very long match. It's pretty good though. Yeah, and then they're doing all of their Ted DiBiase stuff, and I'm fucking loving it.
That Ted DiBiase stuff is freaking gold.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him to make an appearance.
What?
It's
Ted
got
DiBiase's
to.
made 2.
Wait, has he? Or am I like? Oh, okay. I
He's
must
been
be
on
smoking
twice.
something. Well,
Well, remember
whoops.
last week he bought the watch?
I'm
That was Ted
drinking.
DiBiase who went and bought the other watch.
Oh, maybe I don't
So-
remember that because maybe I was drinking too much with my slush.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So we talked about it
Yeah.
last week where Cameron Grimes was buying a watch. $1 Million Man comes in and says, "Oh,
Oh,
that's
that's
a nice
right.
watch,
You
but
know
it's not
what?
$1 million watch." And then
I
Klump
only saw
revealed.
the first part of it. That's why.
Oh,
I didn't see. Yeah. So,
that's true. So yeah, Ted
I'll go
DiBiase was
back.
on last week and he was on this week too. But Klump right here on the show revealed that the watch that Cameron Grimes was buying was actually worth like 3 times as
grand.
much as 50
It's
grand.
a $50,000 watch easily. And
yeah,
then
that's right.
and
We
the
had
one-
watch talk.
yeah, and then
the
what?
one that. Yeah, go ahead.
But Ted DiBiase came out. It's like $8,000. It's made less expensive by all the bullshit they put on it. Like it's a ruined Rolex. It's great. It's because it's shiny and blingy and fancy. So he's like, I gotta buy that one.
Yeah,
Big
love
fan.
it.
Big fan.
So good.
The only thing I'd want him to get more is a Domino's Rolex.
I remember that Domino's Rolex.
Let's see. So then Everrise tries to convince Cameron Grimes to join with them. I'm not liking anything Everrise is doing. Am I off on this one? Do you guys like Everrise?
Nope.
No.
All right, good. Leave him.
Not
So then
even.
he goes to the VIP lounge. And when he gets there, he's all like, "Hey, man, let me in." And the guy's all like, "No can do." And he goes, "Come on, man, I'm Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes, look at the list. Cameron Grimes." And he's all like, "There's no list tonight. Someone bought out the whole fucking club, douche." And then the limo pulls up. The guy gets on the radio. He's like, "He's here." Fucking Ted DiBiase comes out of the limo and says, "Why rent a booth when you can rent the whole club?" I thought he said rent. Whatever, maybe he did both. And then he said something like, everyone's got a price for the $1 Million Man, and he went inside, and it was dope. I don't know where the fuck they're going to go with this, except for if maybe $1 Million Man actually starts to manage for Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, that would be hot. That would be just amazing.
No. Specifically money management.
Yes.
Not management in any career capacity, in any capacity as a like wrestling manager, money management. Like
That could be funny.
Yeah.
You think we'll see Virgil again?
No,
oh,
never. Not unless you go to Olive Garden.
That's true.
unless he gets a freebie ticket.
Yep.
True.
Let's see. After that, anything you guys want to say about that? I'm loving it.
Again, best thing ever. Best character ever. If they create
It's really
one
going.
if they've got a lot of shoes to fill to try to beat that one.
Yes.
I don't think it can happen. Especially after hearing, when you had recommended on episode 1, the podcast that Corey Graves did with him.
After the Bell,
After the
Cameron
Bell,
Grimes. If
thank
you have
you.
not heard it, and what was it? I even told Klump, and he sat down and listened to it too. And Klump, what'd you say about that?
The Cameron Grimes After the Bell is fucking great. I wanted it to go like an hour longer easily. I was like, this is awesome. I kind of wanted Cameron Grimes to have a podcast. I was like,
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, maybe some of the other ones are good, and I've not been a fan of any of their other ones.
Yeah.
Like, not knocking Corey and Vic, it's just that was that good. So you like, oh, other one? No.
Yeah. If you
No,
ever
depends.
get the chance, the one he did as Trevor Lee with Colt Cabana is really good too.
Could be interesting.
And it's way, but it's way pre WWE. I don't think that was really a thought.
So after that, we got Champa and Thatcher. So the Grizzly Young Vets come out, and they cut their promo that they always cut, and then Thatcher and Champa come out, and they end up beating the shit out of the Grizzly Young Vets. There's a huge shoe. Wade Barrett's shoe suddenly gets... I don't know how maybe I didn't catch the moment, but the shoe was in the ring. So Champa and Thatcher used the shoe and then put on the Fujiwara armbar and got the win. I'm not positive on how the shoe happened, other than there's that whole thing where if you hate Gibson, you take your shoe off. Which, like we talked about before, seems to be a European thing that we don't get either.
Yeah.
Taking your shoes off and stuff. I don't know. So
Whose shoe was it?
Barrett's. It was Wade's.
Okay, because I was confused because all of a sudden I looked away because I was working and whatever. And I looked away and I looked back and I'm like, why is there a shoe?
Yeah.
And I was like,
Just a
okay,
shoe.
or am I seeing things? Maybe it was a fly on the screen. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's a shoe.
I really like the match overall. I think Thatcher and Ciampa are amazing. I'm glad they got the win. Yeah, they're just awesome.
Yeah. It's cute. They had matching gear, sort of. It was really cute. Yeah, I'm pro that. And it matches Thatcher's shirt, which I still need to get.
Yep, good point. Thatcher's shirt.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it other than I just liked it.
Yeah. I mean, that's beautiful tag team wrestling. I'm sorry. Every time I see Grizzled Young Veterans and versus a team, that's pretty damn, I'll just say with people who really can go, it's always beautiful. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. No, love it. So let's see. There was some backstage stuff. Gargano and Regal, Scarlett and Austin Theory are back there.
I did want to mention was Austin Theory's they're so big. Was that really necessary? Because the more and more I see them do these horrible jokes and just go on and on, it reminds me. It really, really reminds me of like junior high schoolers talking. So the whole time I'm not laughing. I'm not interested. I want to walk away or turn it off because it's so juvenile. And I don't know who their audience is, who's really enjoying this.
Yeah, Austin Theory's whole thing was so fucking garbage. All the humor that they've tried to put in with the way is just absolute trash.
Yeah.
When you try that hard to be funny, but you're really not funny people, you're just juvenile jocks is really what it is. Or, maybe part of it, I don't know, maybe it's fucked up to say, but I know that Gargano and them are all obsessed with Disney. Maybe if you watch enough children's movies, your mentality stifles. Couldn't tell you.
Alexa Bliss is... No.
Alexa
Bliss is
she's
obsessed with Disney and her
she's a
comedy
crazy
novel. And I didn't dislike
She
these
talks to
wrestlers. I did not dislike these guys before the Way. But for whatever reason, once the Way formed, they got into this weird caricature of, I don't know, junior high schoolers that I'm just not interested in children.
Because they're trying to be funny and they're for one,
Gargano's
not
like
funny.
dry. He's like dry toast. No jam, no butter. Yeah, it's dry.
It's just garbage. And if you're trying to be funny, then I have to judge you based off of funny and comedy. And that is not...
You're not an easy judge, yeah.
No.
For one.
Yeah.
And I'm watching
Marsh
wrestling because I'm not watching stand-up,
Yeah. Marsh Sasso will judge you against the greats like Will Sasso and... trying to think of terrible comedians.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to think of terrible comedians. He likes Gervais. Yeah, I was trying to yeah.
So yeah, just absolute garbage, trash. I'm glad you guys didn't like that bit either. But let's see, we ended up with a really good Karrion Kross promo, which I thought was fire, ripping it up in the ring. So then he's getting attacked though by O'Reilly, Pete Dunne. Finn Balor makes his return, and Gargano and Austin Theory get involved in there too. And I was like, are we really going to see matches with all these people against Cross? Because I don't know if I want half of this.
Although I do love Pete Dunne coming in. Are you having a laugh?
Yeah. Are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh?
Are you having a laugh?
He's having a laugh.
If you're a Gervais fan, you know that.
Oh yeah, no, it was.
Yeah.
Where the whistle blows. It was so good. As soon as Pete Dunne came out, it was good.
Yeah.
O'Reilly and his Jason Mraz thing with his
Oh, I hate that.
shitty gutter punk mohawk mullet shit. Don't know why any of that has to happen.
No,
But-
I don't like this. What did I call him? I called him what was it? He's like Jason. What was it? I said Jason O'Reilly or whatever. Yeah, no, I don't like this. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I mean, really, did Adam Cole and you beating the shit out of each other, did it really come to this? Because that's weird. And you need to have your shit beaten again because not liking that at all.
Yeah. And he's trying to be funny now too, or super cool,
Yeah.
or too cool, or there's something about him now that's just all of a sudden weird. And I'm like, dude, you got like to the next level when you were talking back and forth with Finn Balor. Then you went through this whole fucking change with Adam Cole and became emo. This is Spider-Man 3, dude. Like, what the fuck? You know?
Yeah.
It's like he just came back from Williamsburg.
Yeah. Fucking moved out to Williamsburg. He's like, this is me. This has always been the real me. And you're like, dude, you don't even know who Joy Division is. Relax. You know? The guy's like, no, I feel it. You're like, okay. It's not, something about it's not right, not clicking. I don't like it. I loved Kyle O'Reilly fucking 3 months ago. And I was like, here's your top star. Give him the title. And now I'm all like, I don't know about this hipster fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
I need Bobby Fish to come back and just slap him. Like, what the fuck are you thinking?
I'm like,
Man.
Cross, break his arm.
Yeah, break his arm. Shave the mullet. Have a hair match. Let him lose. You know, and then you shave that off.
I can handle Pete Dunne looking like a hipster because I know he's going to kick some ass. So it's
well, he
it's
already
fine.
kind of looks like a British hipster.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
There's
it's not
different
too far to
hipsters.
stretch.
Kyle
looks like
O'Reilly is
a
an
chav.
Ohio hipster.
Yeah.
An Ohio hips. Why Ohio? Why?
Because people from Ohio move to Williamsburg and they try to blend in, and that's their vision of hipster.
Wait,
And then they
Williamsburg,
tell you
like
all
what?
about
like
Ohio all the
colonial
time.
Williamsburg?
No, like Brooklyn.
Oh, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
I was not thinking. Why would people from Ohio want to move to colonial Williamsburg?
No, people from Ohio
We
move.
can dream.
They move
What
to
can dream?
Brooklyn. They go to Williamsburg. They become vegan, but they hide all of their chicken bones in their bedroom because I don't want you to know they're not actually vegan, but they're vegan on the streets. And, and
Man.
a meat eater in the sheets. What?
Wow.
I've seen it. Vegan on the
That's
streets,
intense.
ribs in the sheets. I've seen it. But Pete Dunne is a fucking true blue vegan who lives just outside of Williamsburg in Jeffersontown, which he was mad at when they renamed it that because he goes, no, it's not. You don't just rename an area based off of a street. He was pissed when it happened. He's that type.
There's a
I
lot
would
of
pick a
inside
fight with
baseball
O'Reilly.
going on here.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
is.
you
There
don't-
is a lot of. Yeah, I'm like, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would not be afraid of beating the shit out of getting into a fight with a Kyle O'Reilly at a bar. I would be buying a Pete Dunne as many drinks as I could to keep him happy.
Like,
Got it. And yeah, I think of like the way Johnny Gargano and Austin Theory, I think of them as they're from Delaware. Nothing good happens from Delaware
Delaware.
or comes out of Delaware. Well,
Let's see.
a decent.
hey, that's for okay, shout out to Bishop. That's for some of your like, you know, insane. I was waiting. I was like, I'm ready. Okay, bring it, Bishop. But next week, I'm challenging you. I'll be on. Let's go.
I'm
Bring that
convinced that
fire.
I'm convinced that Joe Biden's long tenure served in politics is not anything to do with the betterment of this country. It's because he can live in DC and out of fucking Delaware.
Yep.
He was just trying to get out.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What's my way
I'm
out?
seeing a
This?
note here. I'm seeing a note here that they showed another video package for Diamond Mine, but I don't remember seeing that. So I wonder if the USA version cut that like they did the Eva Marie video.
Yeah, they might have,
thought it was
because I
an
don't remember seeing it either. Because
Yeah.
I watched the USA version.
Sometimes they'll accidentally cut out shit they think is a commercial, but it's actually a vignette. They did that with Eva Marie's promo. Completely cut it
Well,
out.
that probably was a
But that-
commercial.
That's fine though. We didn't need to see that.
It was pretty
You
good,
still don't
actually.
need to
I
see
mean, for
that.
what
Don't
it was good. She spoke well. She said stuff that made sense.
She looked
I
bad.
just don't know what's gonna happen next.
She didn't trip over herself. She remembered to breathe. She did decent. Like, you're not selling it well.
Yeah.
Hey,
But also,
have you seen anybody cut a promo on AEW? Fucking remembering to breathe is apparently real goddamn hard, and everyone just claps and goes, "They're doing the
yeah.
best they can."
Midway through.
Yeah.
There is one who's very good cutting promos over there. Do I have to stand up a little bit to show my shirt?
Oh my god.
I will.
Just saying, the video
Just
package
saying.
was better than I expected. We just don't know what we're gonna get on the other side. On this one, I don't know what the Diamond Mine video was, but we did end up with Saray and Zeta Ramir. And people were talking about their big, impressive victories. Zeta over Tony and Saray over Zoe, who are also in the thing. This was a pretty good fucking match.
Yeah. I was very impressed with both. And Saray, I think, Saray kind of surprises me. And in a way of when I look at the other Joshi that AEW has, and in kind of comparison, it's like, this isn't like, okay, I'm throwing Joshi in your face, like how AEW did and does. It was something that it looked natural and it was adaptable to an American audience who might not know what Joshi is.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled. I wasn't over the moon just by name and video package alone for getting Saray, but in the ring, her matches have been outstanding, which I've been surprised at because my most exposure to Joshi wrestling specifically has been through AEW, and I have felt mostly disappointment from it. I was surprised for them to be like, oh, she's got a strong Joshi background, and I was like, oh man.
Oh, great. One of these. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know if was Maiko considered Joshi? Because I thought Joshi was a really specific area or a specific grouping. Is it not?
No.
But either way, I just haven't seen too many. It's just a few here and there where I just go, oh, this is great. And there's a lot of like other goofy shit that happens around it. So I was kind of like not expecting a lot, but I've been really impressed with Saray in here and Zeta.
Absolutely. That was a good signing.
Yeah. Super good. So good.
I just want to say, it's really cool idea of the jobbers being the faces and the heels being like the top stars. I thought that was really cool.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The Tony Storm being like the heel and all the jobbers being like the faces and
What about just the one match?
yeah, and the promos, and the promo after where Stark was like comforting. Never mind.
Like, I'm just not sure what you're talking about. I think we've got like one heel and three baby faces in this storyline right now, right? Saray and Zeta are over, and Zoe and Saray are baby faces, and Tony's the only one being a bitch. Which is kind of cool too, because she's got a ton of star power. So for her to be able to put over all these women as she's going through and stuff has been pretty cool. They did have that backstage segment where Tony Storm, what was it? There was something where Zeta and Saray were like talking or shaking hands or something in the back, and Tony's like going down there to do something mean because that's what mean people do, and Zoe gets in the way, and they kind of had a little bit of like a look back and forth, and then Tony took off. I thought that was really well done and a really cool shot.
Yeah. When you have simple moments like that, that's good. That's powerful. It says a lot. You don't need like a hour-long diatribe or whatnot.
Yes. 100%. I mean, Tony did get a video promo a little bit later, and I thought it was just fantastic. But yeah, it wasn't like this long, drawn out multi thing. It was just her kind of in response to all that, talking some shit again, and it was good. It was dope. So I liked all that. We had LA Knight versus Jake Atlas. Yeah.
Yeah.
LA Knight.
Dummy.
I'm torn. I was torn.
Yeah, as soon as this match got started, I was like, oh shit, Amanda perked up.
Yeah, well, I was also working. I missed it, but I watched it. And oh my God, I love Jake Atlas. I love LA Knight. You know, I mean, I don't think a WWE is doing Jake Atlas, any justice.
Yeah.
My opinion.
Yeah.
Because he was so red hot right before he got signed. And it like was, here he is, and then he fell off the planet. Or he fell off the Atlas. Let's go there. Okay. But, you know, I mean, I adore him. I just really wish that, you know, they'd give him something instead of being, this is the gay guy. That's the sense I get. So.
Yeah.
But LA Knight. Yeah. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Jake Atlas, I get the impression that he's one of those, like, I think they know how good he is in general, but he feels like one of those ones where he's going to have to wait around for a while for something to click. Because sometimes they come in with so much fire and they just fly up to the top and move on. And then there's some people who kind of simmer for a number of years and then have their breakout moments and stuff. I feel like Jake Atlas is going to be kind of a simmer mid-card type. He's going to be kind of like a Cesaro down the line where it's going to take a long time to get where he's going and people are going to love him, but he's going to not be in the main picture all the time by any means. You know what I mean? But I think that's where he could go. I don't think it's a terrible place to go either, but I do think that, I don't think he's on the same trajectory that LA Knight's on. I think LA Knight's fucking phenomenal. Fucking let him come out there with a promo. I love that he does the entrance and his left arm is down by his side and he does the point and he looks over and as he steps forward, his arm comes around his side and has the mic in it. Like you didn't even see the mic at first. It was just like mic. I was like, fucking awesome.
You know, I think his entrance is just amazing because I'm like, that's the essence of LA Knight is you got to give him that mic. And you know, and let him tell us something, you know.
Let him talk to you. Let me talk to you.
I got a great idea for a new character, buddy. We're gonna make you a mute.
Wrong person.
Well, it was good while it lasted.
Mute and a high flyer. It was really good though. I liked the match a lot. LA Knight has a way of making everybody's stuff look super believable and look really natural in all the motions. It was dope. He put over Jake Atlas so well in this match. He made Jake Atlas $1 million.
Oh yeah, it was very smooth, and I've seen the Eli Drake version with Jake Atlas on the indies, and they were good matches, and I think that like that was a good one. This was a great one too, and I think that he just makes anybody, if they have that really good chemistry, and even if they don't, I mean, he just makes everyone look like a star, you know. So
the way he sold that armbar right away, just screaming, was just all like, "Oh fuck, I'm fucked!" Like it was so good. And he made everything that Jake Atlas does look so natural and smooth. And I do think that Jake Atlas has an issue, depending on who he's with making it not look so choreographed and spotty. And this was a way where he was able to do a lot of the cool, impressive shit he did in a really believable way. And I thought that was awesome. My favorite Atlas match to date.
My favorite is an indie match, though.
I believe you.
But it's him. Him and Swerve in San Francisco. That's probably one of the best Atlas matches I've seen. I've seen a lot of Jake Atlas matches over the years. And ones with Jungle Boy, too. those ones. Yeah.
Let's see. We got a Legado del Fantasma promo, which was pretty damn cool, with the Kushida cutting in and doing a promo up on the screen. And again, it was one more example of, yeah, you can have an accent and still cut a promo that has emotion behind it and feels like something. It's one more time where it's all like, look, I don't understand some of these fucking narratives that go around out there. But let's see.
Again, I think they're money. That's another one.
They're doing a 2 out of 3 falls match next week is what they're going to do.
Yeah. Like,
Nice.
Yeah. I'm like, this is, I just am so into them now. It's like, oh, they can't do any wrong as far as I'm concerned.
It's dope. And then we had a sit-down interview with Beth Phoenix, interviewing Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez, and they've got a match next week too. This one I thought was a really good job of answering the question the producer posed last week of what is the difference between these two women? Why should I care about one story versus another? I feel like I'm being presented the same character almost identically. I thought Martinez did a really good job of presenting it as Raquel Gonzalez being almost this prim and proper wrestling school NXT product, and Martinez being gritty and hard way and rugged kind of background to it, where it's all like, I built the foundation you just walked across and didn't even notice. And then Raquel's retort being like, you set the bar so low, it was easy for me to... And you're like, what? Like, it was... The argument was a little weird for Martinez to say, hey, I set the bar, and it took until you for someone to even get to that point. And then Martinez being like, well, it was really easy. Doesn't that kind of shit on everybody else? Mm-hmm. Being like, well, it was so easy for me. Other people, whatever. And you're like, what? But I do like that there's those two definitive stories now. Old, gritty, not old, but, street-born, gritty type, and a school proper type. Almost like, not exactly like Karate Kid, but you know what I mean. Like, where it's more like that movie Fighter or Warrior with, what's that guy I like
Kevin Bacon?
a lot? He plays Bane. Tom Hardy.
Okay.
Kind of like that. One dude's kind of a street fighter. The other guy's actually like a school trained guy, and they have a big old fight. So I like it. I like that being kind of the thing there. What do you think about this?
No, I thought with it was, you have the gritty vet who's been doing this for years and years, and then you've got, the other take to look at it, and then you've got, Raquel, who's, I don't know her backstory, but someone who hasn't really paid a lot of dues, or at least not as much as Mercedes. And I think that's where you see that kind of struggle, because there's the vets, like, that vet that's like, these damn kids, and then you get the kids who are like, we're the best, we rock, whatever. So I think it's a very good dynamic to kind of bring into the match. Yeah. And so it kind of means something for both of them, because both of them equally have something to prove.
Yeah, I think it was really interesting because of that. So I think it's really cool. Klump, you didn't get a chance to see this bit, right?
Nah, sadly not.
It's all right. It was pretty... I was actually impressed by both the women's abilities to do the promos. It was just that one bit that Martinez said that I was like... Or not Martinez, that Raquel said that I went, isn't that kind of a dick thing to say? But it's also fine. She can say dick shot. I don't know. Let's see. The final match was the NXT Women's Tag Team Street Fight. Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon versus The Way. Oh, yeah. So did you see the backstage segment with the tank or no?
I did not.
Amanda,
No.
did you see it? So there's a segment in the back where Shotzi and Ember walk over to the tank, and Frankie's little dog is in there and jumps out and runs away. And they're all like, hee hee, little dog. Oh, what's up, little dude? And then Shotzi looks into the tank and goes, "Oh, no, not there. Why in the tank?" And then Ember goes,
no.
"It's so big. Why is it so big? There's so much."
Oh my God.
Here's what I think happened. Because then they said they're just going to walk out there. They're not taking the tank. That dog.
Tank's gone.
No, well, not the tank's gone. Why would you mention how small the dog is and how big the poop is? If this whole thing isn't a fucking cover-up. Frankie took a shit in the tank and put the dog there. That's exactly what happened. Those were definitely the tones I was getting here. It was like, that is human shit in that tank. And that dog is taking all the heat. That poor little pup.
They didn't say that.
That's what they meant.
Now I need to go back and look at this because, honestly, I'm like, I don't buy that. Yeah.
The leavings, or you got to take a look at the segment?
Yeah,
The
which part
segment, not the leavings. I didn't think they showed the leavings.
Wouldn't that be good if they posted it on their Twitter?
No.
Here it
No.
is. Judge for yourself.
No.
Just pose like 2 unwrapped baby Ruths.
Yeah.
No. People don't want to see that.
I'm going to tweet at Shotzi and be like, "Hey, did you happen to snap a picture of that poop? I got a theory. I need to see it."
That makes you sound like a special kind of pervert. Good job.
Yeah.
Ah, you're right.
That's
It'll
something
never
Hood
go
Slams
over.
would do. Yeah.
Good call. Thanks for being here, Klump. You've helped out.
That's what I'm.
You're my translator there. Check out baddragon.com. Sponsored, not sponsored. Guys, the final match, though, ended with Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae becoming the women's tag team champions on the NXT brand. Look, I'm
Sound like
happy
you're
for
struggling
Indy.
to give a fuck.
My problem is this. The match was bad. And a lot of people aren't willing to say that. It was clunky. It was weird. They missed stuff. Nobody was touching each other, and everyone was falling everywhere. And then they just started giving each other concussions. Ember does this Alabama slam to Indy into the table, like a foot away from the table. So it just whips her head across it, and nothing breaks. And I
Oh,
was like,
Lord.
fuck. There was a bunch, and the bottom kind of broke when Indy fell down on top of it after the fact. Like, it was fucking brutal. Like, but it wasn't like it was brutal to watch. It didn't look like it was brutal to be in, apart from the fact that people were just missing everything. It just wasn't a good match, man. But it was a cool moment for Candice and Indy, and I'm happy for them. It's also cool that, what was it, Indy Hartwell's been wrestling, 4 years, maybe 5 years, and she's posted a bunch of times about when she met Sasha and Bailey, about how they're her inspiration, how she decided after watching them wrestle in Brooklyn that was what she wanted to do, and she sought out after that to be able for her to win that title in the Performance Center, the same place that she got to watch Sasha and Bailey win theirs. Like, the fact that afterwards Sasha and Bailey are tweeting at Indy and Candice, that's got to be unreal for her. You know what I mean? That's got to be awesome. But it's kind of a bad match. And then the thing it does for me that really does me in is those titles have been around for all of a month, 2 months, and we've had 3 champions. At this point, it feels like, hey, let's give everyone a chance to hold it. Like, it needs to stay someplace for it to start to get to a point of importance, or for it to look like a level of excellence. You only establish excellence by making something look hard to get. But if the original champions are literally handed them and lose them immediately, and the secondary champions lose them in like their 3rd match, it no longer looks like it's difficult to get them. It just looks like, hey, it's anyone's game. Everyone's kind of on the same field here, be it good or bad. That's kind of how it feels to me when we've had this many champions in such a short period of time in a match that was as clunky as it was.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that because obviously I love women's wrestling and I support all these women who are in this match. I just did a drawing of Ember and Shotzi the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked on a few of Candice and Indy. I've never liked how any of them turned out, so those have never been shared. And a few of them were deleted because I just didn't like them. But I support these women. I think it's amazing. And like I said, I thought it was amazing for Indy. Rumor has it that after the cameras cut, people in the audience said that you could see Indy visibly crying, which is amazing. Amazing. And I don't want to discount any of that. But at the very least,
Has Candace won anything?
No.
At NXT?
No.
No?
This is her first title.
Wow, that shocks me.
Well, yeah.
That shocks me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Victim of circumstance there. I mean, why do you think it took Becky so long to get a title? Because, it was the era of Charlotte and Alexa for so long.
Yeah.
So sometimes you're just there no matter how good you are and just waiting for the star to fall, So
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I think that at this point, for this to start meaning something, you got to leave it on Indy and Candice. My problem with leaving it on Indy and Candice is their fucking bullshit story being obsessed with Dexter and this whole The Way thing being surrounded by all this bullshit awful comedy. It's going to undermine the segments of potential prestige by having Gargano be a goddamn idiot and Austin Theory try to make a funny dick joke or something.
Yeah.
And Indy acting like a fucking teenager around Dexter. It's all going to be muddled in such horrible shit that, for me, it takes the future potential out of it. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I want them to hold it, but I don't want to see it happen. But I want it for them, and I want it for the title. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not a fan of what they're doing. I'm just a fan of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it a bigger shit, though, than the one that Frankie's dog left?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. If I had to venture a guess.
Just curious.
But that's how it went off the air. New NXT Women's Championships awarded to Candice and Indy, and congratulations to them. Definitely cool that they got the chance to hold a little bit of gold there. Candice put out a really nice Instagram thing about Indy Hartwell, so I suggest taking a look at that. Very good, very emotional. So, I don't know. That was kind of it, guys. Yeah. Did you guys get to even see pictures of any of them even hold it? Because I know you were checking out clips and stuff, especially as it got later in the day for you guys to try and catch the ending stuff. But I don't think you guys got to see much of this, right?
I saw that Candice and Indy won. I saw what they put out. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, good. Anything you want to say about it with them winning?
I think it's good. I think it's about time that Candice has held a belt.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. I think it's great for Indy. I want to see more out of this. But yeah, that's kind of what I got. Not knocking anyone, but yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. Amanda?
Yeah, I mean, now knowing that Candice has not held anything, it's like, wow, it's a real testament to her. And then, I mean, because pretty much, a lot of like accolades that she had, even on the indies, were as a tag team. So, but I really think that it's nice that, they won. I'm not in agreement that we're having, this is like the consolation prize and everyone's going to win it. Yeah, because we need to have someone at least be able to have a little bit of longevity with it. Because if not, it's going to be like the 24/7 title. Why don't we just call it the 24/7 tag?
Yeah, that's my concern too. Is it's going to end up feeling that way. So hopefully not. Hopefully they'll let Indy and Candice hold it for a while and do something crazy and wait till a new team builds up. We were talking about it on the other show. Actually, I was talking about it with Just in Time. Right now, when I look at the tag teams of all the women across all three brands, they all come off as just friends who hang out and like to have fun. And I guess it would be fun if we were tag champions. Wouldn't that be cool? It'd be cute. We could do photo shoots together. But I feel like Natty and Tamina are the only team out there right now that feels like there's a fiery passion and a need to establish their legacy with those tag titles.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I'm not trying to, and I don't think I feel that from anybody in the NXT locker room either, as far as what we're seeing on TV in those tag teams. So if this is the women's division as we have it, Raquel and Dakota, which, by the way, happy birthday to Dakota Kai. Cheers to Dakota Kai. you just had that big fucking gauntlet, and half those teams don't even exist anymore. Not the gauntlet, but the Dusty Cup. Half the teams are already dissolved. Now we're down to 3 teams, and they've all held the titles within 2 months. So I want to see some of that fire from somebody. I want to see get to the point, at least, if we can't see the fire from somebody coming up, then I want to see Indy and Candice become obsessed with these titles and have it mean everything to their legacy and defend it at all costs. You know what I mean? I want to see someone fired up about these titles and not just fucking making sure that everyone gets a chance, you know?
I agree with that.
Yeah. Amanda, anything?
I can get behind that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. No. I just saw some. I was looking at the photos on Instagram, but I just saw something that I didn't know. There's a debut tomorrow on 205 Live. That should be very interesting.
Oh.
Really?
Yes. It's well, the man formerly known as Alex Zane. I didn't know he had a new name, but he is going to be exclusively on Peacock. He's wrestling tomorrow and making his debut, so that should be pretty awesome. So yeah. I'm excited to see what's happening, and it's interesting that he's going on 205 Live and not into NXT. But weird. But anyways,
I don't think it's
I'm
all
excited
bad. I've talked about
that.
it before. I do think that there's a need for people to be on stuff less televised or less visible than NXT, especially if you have big plans for them. Like, I do think that some of the reasons why we see call-ups and then we don't see anything for a while is I think they're trying to get that memory out of people's heads because they want to do something different with them. And so it might be good news that they're going to 205 because it might mean that they're flipping them into an important tag team or something, you know?
Amanda, did you ever get a chance to watch NXT UK?
No, this week has gotten away from me, and I was going to watch both, but I'm going to do that this weekend. That's my time.
I think last week was probably, in my opinion, a bit better. This week, there was the first match was cut very short. It was Mastiff and Ilya Dragunov, and
whoa, why would that be cut short? You would think that would be a great match.
It would be, except
it was great.
There was what we thought was a broken what was it?
I thought it was a broken orbital socket.
But
judging by the amount of discoloration and swelling and weird blood that was happening.
Because Dragunov's insane.
Dragunov fucking elbow checked that motherfucker right in his goddamn eyeball. Fucking boom.
He's insane.
Yeah.
So that happened.
Dragunov is crazy.
And that immediately got stopped. And Mastiff's like this huge dude, and I was like, oh, he's a beast. This is gonna be awesome, and I was really excited for this match. And the ref, he immediately just dropped, and the ref just looked at him and was like, "Are you?"
Well, he did like one or two more moves, and then just sat there in the ring, like looking down with like his eyes closed and his head nodding. And like the ref walked over and said something. You just see him like nod a little bit, and then the ref's just like, "All right, that's it, end of the match." And you're just like, "Fucking Christ!"
But
as the camera panned over, his whole face was turning purple. It was gnarly.
Oh God! Oh,
it looked really bad. Yeah. But they did say it was a broken nose. So I'm like, all right.
Which makes sense. I've seen some pretty bad broken noses too, where you go, just the nose? Are you kidding? So,
Well, Marsh, you do, like, for some reason, I don't know why, but it seems to me that you really like Injury Time on NXT UK. This is like the second.
It's been pretty fucking cool.
That you're like, oh my God, it was so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty fucking cool. These guys they make
scary.
You believe one way or the other, dude.
That's scary.
This is kind of what I like about NXT UK, in that, they're
like people get injured.
No, that they're not gonna, do like a no contact. You're not gonna see like, oh well, I think it was a punch. No, they're actually gonna punch.
Yeah, those Brits, those people over in the UK, man, UK and Germany. It's just, if you want to see hits, that's where you go.
Around.
Yeah,
nothing looks like a dance over there. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about, producer?
the main event, someone left NXT UK.
Yeah.
What?
I was trying to find the names.
There was a match at the end of NXT UK where the loser leaves town. The loser has to leave NXT UK, and we don't know what that means for them, if they're going to sign with WWE proper or go to NXT, or if they're just actually leaving the company and wanted to do a cool little angle. Do you have the thing in front of you?
Jordan is leaving NXT UK.
Jordan Devlin?
No.
No.
Oh.
It was Amir Jordan.
Amir Jordan.
Ah.
Kenny Williams versus Amir Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, oh my
It
God,
was-
Jordan Devlin's really leaving?
No, it was Kenny Williams versus Amir Jordan, and Amir Jordan is leaving. I have a hunch that maybe that means that they're going to NXT in the States, but I could be completely wrong. I don't know if they've had these matches in the past, so I don't know what it means, but I just think that that would be an awesome way to transition someone in a match like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can be for sure. All right. Anything from anybody else?
No.
I'm good.
I don't got anything. I think we got everything. Nothing. What's up?
Do we have any theories of how retro it's going to be tomorrow for SmackDown? I know this is a little off, but
It's a little off, and Klump
they're
and Amanda
doing
don't watch SmackDown. They're doing a retro
Oh,
episode.
no. Oh, they're doing a retro show?
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
I don't know
Well,
what it means. They haven't said what it means.
I'm curious because, especially with Natalia and Tamina, because if it's a retro theme, I mean, hello. Look at,
Oh.
the families right there. So that'll be interesting if they have anything going on. That would be that should be expected. And if WWE doesn't do it, then damn it.
I just don't know what it means. I've got no theories about it, whatever. The only theory I've seen anybody give out is like what they think the set might look like. I think the Thunderdome is so goddamn expensive and big that I don't know that they can put in the effort to like, all right, let's hang up all this shit in the Thunderdome now. I think the specs of the Thunderdome were awfully fucking specific. But I don't know. Who knows? I have no idea.
Maybe it could be old, like, extra props they had from like WrestleManias and things past that they'll just kind of throw in there here and there.
Yeah, I don't know. I got literally
Put
nothing.
up the WWF turnbuckles,
That'd be cool.
Put
Put up the old logo stuff. Maybe they'll do stuff like that. Just change it around, make it just.
Yeah.
I just don't know what it all means. I don't know if they're shooting something different. I don't know if they're making it look different. I don't know if it's sets or props or characters or anything. I don't know what it means. I'm just gonna watch it to see what it is. So I don't know.
okay.
I got nothing. All right, guys. I think we've hit up everything we got to hit up. I think we've said what we're going to say. I think we've drank what we're going to drink. Make sure you check us out over at WrestlingOnTheRocks.com for all of our links, all of our socials. It has the shop. It has our new Episode 1 t-shirt. It has the Ironics t-shirt. More things probably to come if you keep an eye out. Make sure you can go there and find us all of our socials as well. I got to double check if Amanda's on there or not. If you're not, I'll be adding you soon.
Yeah.
But you can find Amanda at Miss MS, Amanda Jane, Jayne. You can find Klump at Crybaby Klump on Twitter. If you need a new watch, you can find us at WOTR The Show. And I am at Ref Marsh. Guys, we'll be back for episode 1 next time. That's the last call.
Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.